Okay, so on the other day we had an Instagram poll. It was either between a full day of eating or micro training program, and guess who won? Training program it is. But let me tell you this, full day of eating was close second, so it's definitely the next video. I myself am very curious about what are the super athletes, the strength athletes are doing within their day, either nutrition or recovery wise, supplementation wise, that I can take to my day to improve by 1%. So that's something that I'm interested in, and I will definitely make a food of eating video next. And just in general, aiming to make a video a week or thereabouts to be more consistent. And in order for us to do that, we'll keep the videos as simple production-wise as we can, and always as informative as I can. So yeah, let's dive right in. My current training program, whenever you program your next training phase, you always have to keep in mind what phase did you just came from, because it's not necessarily the next program that how it is structured that will make it successful. It's also just the fact that it will be different from the previous one that will make it hopefully successful. Because now changing for what I had previously, which was a higher volume, low intensity, high frequency, 5 times a week per movement training, coming to high intensity, twice per movement training a week, that's the frequency, it will aggravate a completely different response from the body. It's a different training stimulus, and that just by itself will cause the body to will demand growth in other areas. So you have to think in mind, it's not only the program that I currently am showing you, it's the broader view on the broader training plan. So let's dive into specifics. I train 3 times a week, 3 big strength training sessions a week. There will be other pieces, just movement pieces within my week, mobility, handstand, smaller strength training sessions, but let's focus on the big 3 strength training workouts. First workout will be cross and maltese, second one will be planche, and the third one will be maltese and cross. My goals are to improve the cross and maltese strength even further. And so they have 2 times a week frequency, and the planche is there and maintain its strength. Okay? So it won't decrease any further than that over time. So cross and maltese, that's the focus. Every strength training session, we start with the main work, specific work, being in the position, in the exact specific skill that I'm aiming for, being in the cross, being in the maltese, with or not assistant. Anyway, building up to a heavy top set. So let's take the cross workout. Just one very, very intense set that I build for 5 repetitions or for 3 repetitions or for 1 repetition. Or the equivalent in isometric holds, so 10 seconds or 5 seconds, etc. It will start with that. And the second movement that I train that day, say it's a cross and a maltese day, the maltese will be trained for 5 sets of 5. The next maltese and cross day, it will switch. The maltese will be trained for high intensity, 1 set, all out set, and the cross will be trained for 5 sets of 5. So Louis Simmons for Western Bible highly believes that you should, session by session, change the volume within the same movement that you practice. So even though I practice cross 2 times a week, it will not be with the same volume and intensity. The one truly heavy set to the max complements the 5 sets of 5 and vice versa. 5 sets of 5 is a lot of volume, a lot of practice repetitions, 25 repetitions to practice in total, also more hypertrophy potential, and you get the heavy intense set, which will actually teach you how to exert and how to exhibit strength in a very, very, very high threshold, so near maximum, because exhibiting strength there is different than doing so with something that is fairly easy to you. Technique changes, and how you breathe or not breathe changes, etc. So they complement each other. And after the main walk, I will drop to supplementary walk, which is short level walk on the rings within the same movement pattern. So if it's a cross day, I will go for iron cross, strap assisted pulls. And if the Maltese day, it will be strap assisted Maltese presses to planche or support. That will be 3 sets of 5. So not a lot of volume, just to add a little bit of extra work in order for the prime movers to get completely fatigued. Let's take the cross for example. The chest, the biceps, the teres major, the latissimus work heavily in the cross. But due to the elbow integrity, which is the limiting factor, they do not get fatigued as I would like to hope them to in a good strength training sessions. So now I'm decreasing the stress in the elbows, giving more attention to the prime movers to do the job. After the supplementary work, I'll go to the accessories. So in a cross and a Maltese session, the accessory will be focused around the muscle groups that I talked about earlier. It will be chest, back, biceps. These are the big ones. This is muscle group training. It's not in the pattern of the cross. It's not in the pattern of the Maltese. It's basically training the chest, training the biceps, training the back, just like a bodybuilder. Higher time under tension, longer time under tension, higher repetitions, using accumulation, elongating the set bodybuilding type of methods. So training in a bodybuilding mind to work the muscle groups and not the movement. For the planche, the accessory will be different. It will be to hit the shoulders, it will be to hit the upper back again, since it's a weakness of mine, and that will be it mostly. So that's the workout. And I program my training in 3 weeks blocks, and week by week within the training block, it gets linearly more intense. So the week 1 of the training block will be low intensity, then week 2 moderate intensity, third week will be high intensity and even slightly more volume than the previous 2 weeks. That's the hardest week by far. And then rinse and repeat. I add a little bit of weight, and then I come back to week 1, which is now 4, with the low intensity building up. After 2 training blocks, 7th week would be a deload, and then again rinse and repeat. You do a deload week in order to hopefully keep making the same progression rate before hitting the wall. So you actually take a step back for you to take 2 steps forward. And that's a great general approach for all of you listening, whether it's every 4th week, 7th week, or whatever. The blocks themselves are also linear block periodization, which means it's gradually getting slightly more intense, block by block, by block by block, consistently and linearly, gradually more intense. And there's no wave structure to it. And I always have the bigger plan in mind. I just did a lot of, like I told you, hypertrophy type of stuff in the summer. Even my top sets were 8 to 15 repetitions, so high volume and not a lot of truly high intensity sets, testing my limits. So now I'm intensifying my training. So that's my current training program. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have a question regarding my training program or your program, if you hit a plateau, if you have a problem, if you have a question, please drop it down in the comment section below. I would be very glad to help. Honestly, I'm doing this for myself, guys. I'm enjoying the relationship, the connection, your support, your appreciation. So I'll be very glad to help, and see you guys next time.